Welcome to Real Geek Media. We are here today to talk The Acolyte. I am Hayden Stoll. It is Christopher Michael Blake. It is June 10th, 2024. We watched episode 1 and episode 2 of the new Disney Plus show, The Acolyte, and we're here to share our thoughts on these two episodes.
Have you heard about the subtitle for these two episodes?
What is that?
It is called The 1 Hour of Time in Your Life You Will Never Get Back.
You know, Disney has a knack for making content that feels like that. For sure. So, Disney Star Wars has been an interesting ride so far. In my opinion, lots of misses, very few hits. And here we are at The Acolyte. I'm not really sure. You look at the Rotten Tomatoes for this. Critics love it. Audiences hate it. And you have.
It's funny you say that. It was one of my notes. I have a long list of notes, which I took more time to write than I'm sure the script writers and Kathleen Kennedy actually looked at.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know what's really left to say with some of this. You want to get into the Disney stuff, the agenda driven things and, forced down your throat with the message as opposed to delivering quality, entertainment, which has been lacking for years. So this is another example of it, in my opinion.
I disagree with you just a tad bit on that part.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of controversy over Kathleen Kennedy and the woke agenda / casting and everything. It's not a big factor for me. If you put a good product out, I'm going to watch it. And I wanted to judge this show on its own merit, not based on some Reddit forum or some blog or whatever else. If you put a good product out, I will watch it. The Last of Us proved that. You can do content that's generated more to the left, towards woke people,
right?
"Quote unquote" woke people, not my perception, but and have it come out good. So I didn't particularly see that with this.
Well, I'm not saying that I saw it that way. That's just been the gist, right? This has things of this. Like, I'll get into my side, but continue.
Go ahead. I mean, give me an example of the woke casting that you see here.
Well, I mean, you have very much, full representation here, right? As far as the cast, the lead, the secondaries. I don't have an issue so much with that. I'm going to judge it from, a Star Wars story base. The things I have issue with are, we have yet again the female character who is the key, who is the central figure. I mean, we've seen this time and again with Disney Star Wars. We got Rey, we got Jin in Rogue One. It's everywhere. Bo-Katan shows up. Mandalorian season 3 is pretty much her show. So, we have that front and center. That's just a staple now for Disney Star Wars.
I didn't care so much about that.
It's not that I care. It's just a fact.
I look. You can't say that Andor wasn't male oriented.
No, Andor was, but Rogue One.
The Bad
wasn't.
Batch. The Bad Batch. I mean,
that's about the girl. That's about the little girl.
Look, let's face it. No one's paying the money to go see her. It's the four.
Nobody's watching the Bad Batch either.
I like the Bad Batch. So
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying nobody watched it.
I liked it. So
that's the difference between liking and people watching it.
But we're here to talk about the Star Wars Acolyte, right? Not the Star Wars universe. I
think
there's a big difference there.
Right.
And I'll give you the point that I think you're missing here. I'm gonna give it to you. This is my opinion again. You're entitled to your opinion. I think we're both of the same opinion that Rotten Tomatoes can't be trusted. And I wrote that down too. Is that we really don't care about these characters.
Yes.
And that's the gist of the whole story here. Is I have no emotional investment for any of these people. They're not interesting. there's no sense of danger to these characters in these episodes. Who cares if she's killed 2 Jedi? I really don't. I mean, these no-name people. I mean,
There's no
it's not like
stakes. Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they dug up Mace Windu and we're like, oh, look, here you are. Now we're going to off you off. You know, and I get the feeling that this guy's soul ain't making it to the end. You know, I hate to say it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just my gut feeling. He's almost expendable from the get. It's kind of like the reluctant, oh, I have to go over here to go save this person, but I'm just being voluntold to go do this. And the person I felt the worst for in this entire show was Carrie-Anne Moss.
Mm-hmm.
The most acting credentials, the biggest name star. You kill her off in the first segment. And I get the feeling it was because of budget. They were like, oh, we don't want to pay her. Let's just put her in so she can help promote this and kind of uplift the series that we can quote as a star in the show. And we can get rid of her real quick. And, you know, maybe she dodged a bullet by being out of this, but she would have made a much bigger character than Soul. She didn't dodge the knife, that's for sure. Yeah, I know. I wrote this all beforehand. So, but did she know she was signing up for a sequel to The Matrix?
I have a feeling she's going to show up in a flashback or something. You know, that 5 minutes of screen time for such a top billing actress.
Well, look, you forget about what these 4 Jedi did that was so egregious that, you know,
So-
I mean, look, they're building the stakes up on this so high, and they're never going to be able to live up to whatever that
It's too late.
that pinnacle is.
I agree.
You know, it's like whatever travesty that they unleashed at this point, these 4 Jedi, that requires vengeance from an assassin. And I got a problem with the assassin too, where I'm sitting here saying to myself, if you want to do assassin, bring some bounty hunters in.
Yeah.
I know we have a bounty hunter show already, and I get that, but bounty hunters are fucking cool.
True.
They're what people would tune in for.
Yeah.
You know, look, and The Mandalorian proved that. Even if you took away Baby Yoda, Grogu, that's what people wanted to. They wanted that, the tenaciousness. They wanted that grit, and you know, The Mandalorian really kind of hasn't given that. Boba Fett certainly didn't give it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I think that the stakes kind of get raised a little bit. It's like, wow, did you just see that?
Yeah.
What just happened? And you know, again, for me, the opening scene is basically just, you know, a Chow Yun-Fat movie. You know, maybe like Hard Boiled, where he's just running around, they're doing all this karate stuff. And I'm like, is this Jedi or am I watching like something from Japan? And don't get me wrong, they're skilled actors, and if that's what we signed up for, I'd give it more of a pass. But
Yeah.
I don't see Anakin Skywalker doing this. I didn't see Darth Vader doing this. I didn't see. I mean, Palpatine's not doing this for sure. I mean, I don't know.
I agree.
Darth Maul, maybe a little bit, but okay.
There's no stakes. You know, like, we're supposed to think there's this great big mystery and thriller. There's somebody's killing Jedi. Okay, well, we know who's doing it. We were already told that. Okay, so now the mystery becomes, well, like you said, what did these 4 Jedi do? And no matter what it is, it's going to be disappointing. You know, because the stakes are, okay, somebody's killing Jedi. Well, that mystery is already resolved. We know who's doing it, right? The leftover mysteries are who's the master and what did they do? Okay, and that's not going to be all that interesting. There's nothing interesting. The characters are dull. The dual leads by Amanda Stenberg, Osha and May, are just not that interesting. And
No.
It doesn't, like the scene where they see each other in episode 2 for the first time after, you know, they thought each other was dead. You know, it just wasn't enough. You know, it was just kind of, they saw each other. They had a moment and she missed on purpose. Okay. So what? I want to like the Master Soul. I want to like him, but I feel like he's going to be another character that makes incredibly stupid decisions. And I'll give you an example of that right off the bat. Episode 1. You know, they're talking to him and he's like, yeah, I guess they were talking about May and having a sister, and it wasn't in the records that she had a sister. And he's like, nope, she died. She died on the planet. She died in the fire. She's gone. Not even a minute later in the show, they reunite with Osha, and Osha says, "This is May. May's doing it." And Master Soul goes, "I believe you." Not even a minute has passed since he said she's dead. Wait, what is that? I mean, it's just an example of the writing that you're getting in this show. I want to like it. I want to be invested in it, but they're not doing anything. Like the side Jedi Knight is like, just, I don't know. Like, I think I might cheer when he gets killed, like, because he's just irritating. You know, I find
He's not going to get killed. He's not going to get killed.
I find it very hard to like these characters. Like, who am I rooting for here? I don't know. I'm curious about the guy that ran the little trinket shop, the little Star Wars Rite Aid Mart.
You mean the actual Sith Lord?
That's what I'm curious about, right? But
because that's what online seems to believe is that, and let's face it, he's already beaten May in a fight.
Right, but you can't tell me 2 episodes in you've tipped your hand enough to lead that. You have to have something else up your sleeve.
And not only that, he knows where the location of all these Jedi are.
Right.
I mean,
what are we doing?
Just...
Now, the thing that also irritated me about this show is right off the bat, we're pretty much given the Kill Bill. There's dialogue lifted right from Kill Bill, and we're throwing that right into Star Wars, and, you know, we have unfinished business. Fight me with all your strength. And I'm just, I can't eye roll hard enough at this point. You know, and it's like, what are we doing? Kill Bill? Yeah, she's got a list of people, 4 Jedis. Like, Bill is the master. Like, what are we doing, man? I'm just not understanding what the point of this show is.
So, let's talk about missed opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think that the character of Soul could have been replaced with the Carrie Ann Moss character easily.
Yeah.
And it would have been better because Carrie Ann Moss could actually carry it.
Yeah.
Not that Soul's a terrible actor or anything. I mean, I think this is a hard role to actually. But I'm gonna give you an Easter egg. You ready?
Nope.
If they had put this in, it would have took off. It would have been all over X. It would have blown up. It would have been viral. When Master Soul is teaching the Foundlings, okay, before he gets accepted and before he finds out about May and Ocean and all this other stuff. What if Yoda had actually been sitting there in that class?
Yoda should have been teaching it.
No, but it's 100 years before, so I mean, we understand why.
But he's like 500 years old.
But I'm just saying, but what if he had been there
Yeah.
in the class as a student? That would have been more interesting, and he had answered the question.
Like, they could easily have worked him in to the story. 100%. 100%.
And I think people would want to see a Yoda show versus this garbage. I mean, that's, you know.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I mean, even the action, as much as we're supposed to be led to believe, like you had said, you're watching a Chow Yun-Fat film. You're watching Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and you're like, this is 100 years before the prequels. In the prequels, we got the most, detailed lightsaber combat. Where's that? Like, can we have that?
It's funny you say that because that was the next item on my list. So I think, we're together somewhere in a galaxy far, far away. But people tune into Star Wars for the lightsaber duels, not for knife fights.
Yeah, we haven't had one.
Okay, I see a couple yellow lightsabers, and okay, this guy says he's a Jedi Knight. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't.
In between pressing his cloak, like
he was told to put his clothes back on. I don't know.
They spent like screen time on him pressing his cloak. Why?
To show that the female Jedi was not interested in him whatsoever.
It's just bizarre, man. It's bizarre. I don't know. It's going nowhere fast. And we're episode 3 actually comes out tonight.
Well, so I actually fell asleep during episode 2.
I fell asleep at the end of episode 1.
So, again, I don't think that we're the only ones.
No.
And I had to go back and watch the last 9 minutes of the second episode that I really didn't care to.
Yeah.
Just so I could come on this podcast. This is the only reason I even bothered to watch it. But I watched the last 9 or 10 minutes of the episode 2, and I saw some of the worst acting and dialogue in my life. Now, again, as a writer, I'm not always perfect. I can give leeway, and okay, hey, not a problem. You're taking us somewhere with this. But when you call the Jedi Council and say, hey, we know where this Sith assassin is going next, we can meet them there and beat them there.
Oh, man.
And capture them. Oh, no, come back for milk and cookies.
Oh, man.
Because we need to have our small council so we can discuss what's going to happen next while we debate and dither. That, to me, is just like...
What was that?
And then you're going to sit there, oh, yes, not a problem, Lord. We can do that.
What in the world was that? I had to rewind. Like, that scene played out, and I rewound it to watch it again, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, what is this?
I'm sorry you rewound that. That was not worth rewinding for. Just like the Wookiee, at the end. I'm just like, really?
What are we doing? What are we doing? It's just, you can tell that these people that are making this particular show, like, I feel like there's just no experience. It's just winging it. The writing is not good. The directing is just weak. There's nothing. What visually is there in this that was exciting? I mean, okay, maybe they do some of the classics like the wipes on the the edits and washes on the edits, but that is it. There's nothing else that feels like Star Wars here. Yeah, you're holding some props. You look like a Jedi, but it's not working. It's not working for me, and it's not working for a majority of the actual fans audience. I found the Sith Lord. I found him.
Padawan. You will exact revenge against my enemies. I told you your sister passed away.
Oh my God. Yeah. Disaster. So,
Sith Lord Blake. You will listen to me. I run a poison shop down the corner.
Yeah.
At the local Rite Aid.
I'm a cashier at the Star Wars Rite Aid. Oh, man.
I will not give you a lightsaber or tell you how to build one, but I will give you a knife. And then you must go beat the chick up from the Matrix.
So each episode...
Who needed a paycheck.
We've been given the Death List 5 from Kill Bill, right? You had, right off the bat, Trinity. Episode 2, you had the meditating guy that had like a force field around him. They spent a good 5 minutes of there trying to break through the force field with the little fruit knives. Like, okay. And then next episode, we're going to get the Wookiee. And that'll be, I'm sure, thrilling. But we'll see.
Listen to me, Padawan. I will show you a red lightsaber and you will get a hard on. And that will be it. That's all I will give you for the episode 1.
That's where we're at.
I will go back to the same planet that Rey came to.
Oh God! Imagine if that is. Imagine if that is the same planet. Is that what you're hearing?
Snoke's got nothing on me.
Do you take anything from the titles of these shows or the episodes? Episode 1, Lost/Found. Episode 2, Revenge/Justice. Do you make anything of that?
You have lost your time watching this, and I have found your money.
Oh God! Like my takeaway.
I am Sith Lord Blake, by the way. I am seething right now. Because Kathleen Kennedy has cast me as a woman.
Well, this show makes that South Park episode like it just highlights it. Everything they said in that South Park episode is the truth.
Use the Force, Stoll. Let go of your feelings.
So I look at the titles on this thing and I'm like, Lost Found. I think it's supposed to be meaning for each of the twins. One of them takes loss, one of them found, and one of them revenge, one of them justice. At least that's...
We have lost our script, and we had to borrow somebody else's. We had found somebody else's script. And we incorporated it into our Star Wars canon.
So you look at episode 1, directed by Leslie Headland and written by Leslie Headland. And she directed episode 2. Episode 2 written by 2 different writers. I don't know.
What was the title for episode 2?
2 is Revenge/Justice.
It doesn't matter. Much like it doesn't matter who the Sith Lord is.
Yeah. But they set themselves up for this stuff, right? Like at the end of this, people are going to want to see, things that are going to lead into the Sith Lords and their return back in episode 1. I don't think we're going to get it. I think they're going to try and, subvert everybody's expectations, because I think they think that is a good thing to do. But I don't know. Expectations are beyond low at this point.
Hayden, your expectations do not matter. The only thing that matters is that we cash your $13 a month, which we are raising your subscription price unless you want ad tier. We can combine it with ESPN, which nobody watches anymore.
Not wrong. But I don't know. Do you have anything else? Your feelings on this there, Master Blake?
Why do they have yellow piss color lightsabers? I have an answer for you, Hayden.
What's that?
They're pussies.
There you go. So,
put your shirt back on.
You think that could have been a director's note in that episode for, it was like Charlie Barnett was the actor. Oh, it's funny. Let me talk about Charlie Barnett real fast. He gave an interview, I guess, for the press, whatever, for...
I'm just the poison shop owner now, so don't forget about me.
As they were promoting the series, so the cast were giving interviews, and Charlie Barnett jumps in and he starts talking Star Wars and how, Anakin Skywalker blew up the Death Star, which never happened. And, at least if you're going to talk about it, if you're going to be an actor in this show, maybe watch one of the movies.
It's not necessary, though.
No, it's not. But if you're going to open your mouth and insert your foot, know what you're talking about, right? Like, you're an actor, you're an adult pretender. Okay, that's your job. Make people believe that you know what you're talking about. Okay, pretend there's a script. Lie. But it's just another example of this just disaster. I don't know. It's like train wreck.
I don't think that has anything to do with the TV show. Again, I'm trying to judge the show on its own merits, not the actors in the show. Hayden, look, there's no way I'm going to be more knowledgeable about Star Wars canon than you, and I'm not going to fake the funk. But I know quality when I see quality. I know something I like when I see it. Like I said, the 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, I don't know how many times they had to sit there and click on those buttons or tell the actors to click on the button and their friends and family. But, look, Google was it was 32% liked on Google and 4.4 out of 10 on IMDb, which, again, those are all fugazi numbers, too. You never know what's real and what's not.
Sure.
But I don't care what the actor says outside of the show. Again, I care about the quality put into the show, and I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything that would, other than this podcast, for me to sit there and say, I have to see episode 3 and find out what happens. The biggest crow that I could eat right here today is to come on next week and say, it was somebody else who was the Sith Lord.
Right.
That, or maybe they kill off May or Osha, which they might. They might do that. One of them may die at the end. But, do I really care? No, not really. I'll come on and put my alter ego back on, and Master Blake will come back on and tell you he was pulling all the strings all from the get-go. and it wasn't him; it was his clone. So
Yeah.
why not? We've already done that, so we got to revamp that too. So if in your Kill Bill theory, she has to go kill a bartender next.
I mean, unless the Wookiee is a bartender.
I'm
I mean,
just saying. I mean,
she's only got 4, right? I don't know, man. They haven't done enough to really get you to want to even watch episode 3.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do it, but
They have what 4 million people watched though the first episodes, the first 2 episodes.
yeah, which is a Disney number, and to put that in context, the X-Men animated X-Men '97 was like something like 3 million, which was a disappointing number. So keep that in mind, right? Its numbers did less than Ahsoka did for the first weekend. So if that'll tell you where some of that is. I think the only thing this show really has going for it is where as Ahsoka, did you watch that series at all?
I thankfully saved my time.
Okay. And it's probably better that you did it, because that one there was a high really learning curve to even watch that show, because it had so much going on from an animated series plus the prequels plus the Clone Wars cartoon all rolled into one show, that if you're just, watching for the first time, expect this, you're going to be very confused. I would say that the homework you need to do to watch this show is next to nothing, right? You can go in blind, watch the show, and kind of have an idea of what's happening. All right. Whether it's good or not is up to you. It's not really working so far for me, but you don't really need to have like a really knowledge base to watch this. You could just jump in and go. Whereas Ahsoka was not like that. You really need to kind of know what's going on. So I'll give this show that, if I'm going to say something positive. The pacing isn't terrible. The episodes are too short, but the pacing in those episodes is not terrible. Like I'll give you an example of that. The scene where where May gives the poison to the Jedi in episode 2, right? And then, the group with Master Soul, they walk in, they see Osha's there holding the bottle of poison and the dead Jedi. We could have lost the whole episode with a trial and, all that stuff. But right away they were like, nope, I was watching her. Let's move on. At least they did not drag it out and make a filler episode of that. I'll give them that. I'm trying to give them something. They could have really just jammed up the whole middle of the show with that, but they didn't, which is to their credit, they didn't do. I don't know. There's not much, man. There's not much. The score was usually Star Wars, you have a significant score. I didn't really feel much for this one at all. It's not really doing much for me. It looks cheap. It looks like cheap sets. It just doesn't feel like grand or cinematic. I don't know what to say to that. Like, did you watch Andor?
I did not.
Okay. Andor was real sets, like real locations, felt very gritty and real. This feels like it's shot in, the local
Burbank, Callaway, yeah.
the local film studio, Just doesn't feel like it. It's feels like a cheap TV show. And for me, it felt more Star Trek than Star Wars in places, like alien design, and, it just wasn't doing much for me. I mean, we'll see if there's anywhere to go after that. And I approach this more from like a diehard Star Wars fan my whole life, right? So when I talk about the actors screwing up the thing, it's a red flag for me. Listen, the guy could be an Academy Award winning actor, but the product doesn't deliver yet. Maybe it will. We'll see. But, you got to know what you're talking about, man. Like, you're just going to piss off fans when you do stuff like that. And I mean, they've already pissed off many Star Wars fans, with a lot of the stuff they put out. This feels like it's just, we're in the early onset of the train wreck. So
Again, I gotta ask where the rogue scoundrel is, and I can't find them so far. You're telling me it's Osha / May. I'm not buying it. You know, great. You got the same person playing again. I just don't.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's like things too with like twins, right? Where they'll dress similar, they'll wear their hair similar, but they have the exact same hairstyle, which I mean, you can nitpick stuff. I'm not going to nitpick that. It's weird, but whatever. You know, fine. I'll take that and we'll try and believe it and move on. You know, what mysteries do you have or hope to see in next episode?
Unfortunately, we had to go back to Darth Master Blake. Hayden. Someone will take a lightsaber to the chest and then live to tell all about it.
Sounds like Disney Star Wars.
This has to happen now in every series. So let it be done.
Yeah, but don't throw a fruit knife at somebody.
No, that could kill somebody. We can't do that. We can cut somebody in half and they can still be alive. We can let them take a lightsaber to the middle of the chest, right in the heart. You can stop the bleeding. Whatever, small dagger would be enough.
That's it.
To kill off a Jedi Master.
It's a wrap.
And then leave her lightsaber on the floor.
Yeah, I don't know.
Darth Master Blake has spoken. Let it be done.
I think we get... The Wookiee could be interesting. I mean, Wookiee with a lightsaber. I don't know. If he even uses it. Like, nobody seems to know how to use one in this show, but...
It would have been interesting if he had torn somebody's arms off.
Listen, that'd be great. Force
That,
pull them.
again, another Easter egg. Another missed opportunity for an Easter egg that they missed. Because did you really need that last scene in the show?
No. Not unless he's ripping their arms off.
No, I mean, really, you got these two guys. Oh, look, you guys you don't care about.
They set
There's-
that...
oh,
Yeah, they set
look,
that
look,
scene
there's
up.
an abandoned ship, and we can go in there and raid this thing, and then, oh, look, turn around, fire the gun. Oh, no, he pulls the... come on.
How goofy was that last scene that made it feel like you were watching Harry and the Hendersons? Because that's what I felt. Like, what is this? It was the Harry and the Hendersons little tag at the end of that. Not good. We'll see. I mean, my money's on, I think the character's name is Kamir, Rite Aid clerk. We'll see.
Is it Darth Plagueis? Is that what they're saying online?
I don't think he's Plagueis. I think maybe at the end of this show we see Plagueis as the master, but these people are all pawns. None of them are high enough. At least that's how I feel. If he's Plagueis, I'm just going to be like, oh boy.
We'll see.
Nah.
I could care less. I really just,
Nah.
so far,
Nah.
I'm along for the ride, Hayden.
Agreed. We'll see where it goes. But we'll try and get these reviews to you guys each week until the series is concluded. I think it's 8 episodes.
Is there any way to shorten this up? Oh, I don't know.
It's 8 total episodes. Next week's episode is... Don't see a title yet for it, so...
But look, just remember, wait for season 2.
You think they're even going to do one? Like, I feel like these things are all like one shot. Done.
I think that if there's enough interest in anything and there's money to be made, you can always do some kind of sequel and bring somebody back. And I hate to say that's true of anybody, of anything.
Yeah.
If The Mandalorian had been a hit, that would have been one series and I've been done.
See, the misstep I had with that one is they should have just, at the end of season 2, Grogu goes off with Luke Skywalker, and that's the last you need to see of him, right? Bring it back to the Mandalorian, bounty hunting, And now it's just season 3 was kind of a train wreck.
I didn't even get through it all.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I was just like, I can't. I got to like episode 3, and I was like, I can't.
Yeah, and now they're making that movie.
The movie, yeah. Which I'm okay with. I mean, look.
They need something that's a hit, and that is as easy as it could get for them because of the popularity of the character. People are going to see it.
I just sit here and say to myself, why do I care about any of these characters? And I just don't. I just don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll see what happens. Tune in with us. Join us next week.
Next Monday we got.
We're going to shoot for next Monday.
Okay.
Watch episode 3. I'm definitely not watching tonight because I will fall asleep at midnight. Not going to happen.
Cade and I had to tell you, I've already got the noose in the chair set up in the corner of the room. Now, I'm not talking about autoerotic asphyxiation. I'm talking about waiting for Star Wars Episode 3 of the Acolyte.
Yeah. Can't say that I blame you. But
the word of the day, kids, is T-Rash.
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 That's it.
T-Rash.
That's it. With that, I'm Hayden Stoll. He's Christopher Michael Blake. We'll catch you next week.
Darth Master Blake.
Darth Master Blake.
Yeah. Tune in. Put the hood up. You won't notice me otherwise.
No.
Take a long shot.
Right back to the Rite Aid, the Star Wars Rite Aid.
That's it.
Check us out next week when we talk about episode 3. Until then, we'll see you.